Picture this. You're standing in front of a mirror, staring at your reflection. The room is quiet, but inside your head it's deafening, thoughts crashing like waves. What if I'm not enough? What if I fail? What if they see through me? This fear clings to you. It masquerades as humility, as being realistic. But hey race, what's really happening? Your deepest fear isn't that you're inadequate. Your deepest fear is that you might actually be powerful beyond what you've allowed yourself to imagine. Think about it. You're not awake at 3 a.m. worried about being small. You're terrified of how vast you could become. Because greatness doesn't come without weight. It demands courage. It demands showing up fully. And stepping into that power means surrendering every excuse you've been clutching. So, what do we do instead? We shrink. We play small. We dim our light so we don't make waves. We hide behind self-deprecation, pretending we're less capable than we are so others won't feel uncomfortable. But ask yourself this. Who are you not to be brilliant? Who are you not to be strong, talented, unstoppable? The real danger isn't dreaming too big, it's accepting a diminished version of yourself that was never meant to exist. Close your eyes. Remember the child you once were, running without fear, laughing without permission, shining without apology. That child wasn't ashamed of joy. That child didn't calculate whether it was safe to be vibrant. That child still exists inside you, buried under years of learned smallness, waiting for permission to emerge. Hey race, what matters? Your light isn't just about you. When you rise, you give others permission to rise. When you claim your strength, you free someone else from their fear. Your growth creates ripples you'll never fully see. Look at your reflection again. Not with judgment. Not with doubt. See potential. See the power you've been hiding, the capacity you've been denying, the story you've been postponing. Because playing small doesn't serve anyone. Shrinking doesn't protect you, it imprisons you. Hiding doesn't create safety, it creates regret. Your power is already there. Your story is already unfolding. The question isn't what if I fail? The question is, what if you rise? You step away from the mirror. The air feels heavier now, not from fear, but from possibility. Outside your door, the world is waiting. It's messy, loud, filled with people who've already decided who you are, what you're capable of, where your limits end. But you know something they don't. Those limits are illusions. They don't see what burns inside you. So you take that first step. The ground beneath you feels different. It's the same street you've walked 1,000 times, but today every crack in the pavement feels significant. Every sound, cars rushing past, strangers chattering, reminds you the world keeps moving whether you rise or not. This is where most people stop. They hear the noise, feel the weight. They retreat into their shells, whispering, "It'll shine tomorrow. It'll be brave tomorrow." But tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. You can't afford that anymore. As you walk, remember this truth. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so others won't feel insecure. How many times have you held back your ideas? Laughed quieter, moved slower, made yourself smaller so no one else would feel threatened? That's not humility. It's fear masquerading as kindness. And it's stealing your life. Keep walking. See the city around you. Towers rising, streets weaving like possibility itself, every face belonging to someone fighting silent battles. Some will never step into their light because fear will chain them forever. But you? You've already broken the first chain. You notice the shift now, your shoulders roll back. Your breath deepens. That small flame in your chest flickers stronger, fed by every forward step. And people notice too. A stranger glances your way, then looks again. Not because of how you look, but what you carry. That presence. That quiet liberation. Without words, you're reminding them they're capable of more too. This is the paradox of light. When you stop hiding yours, you unconsciously give others permission to find theirs. You're not just walking a street anymore. You're walking a path of liberation for yourself and for anyone brave enough to follow. The question remains, how far are you willing to go? The city hums around you, alive with movement and noise. But even as you walk taller, even as your presence ripples outward, something inside you stirs, a whisper. A wait. The shadows haven't disappeared, they've only been waiting. You turn a corner and suddenly the crowd thins. Lights dim. It's quieter here, too quiet. That's when you hear it, the voice. Who do you think you are? It doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. That old, familiar tone. The one that's been with you since childhood, the one that knows your doubts intimately. You're not brilliant. You're pretending. And sooner or later, they'll all see it. Your chest tightens. Steps falter. For a moment, you feel the pull to shrink again, to disappear back into safe shadows. Because isn't that easier? To stay unseen? To never risk too much? But then you remember, it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And suddenly it clicks. This voice, this shadow, it's not here to tell truth. It's here to keep you comfortable. To chain you to the familiar. To protect you from the risk of shining. Because shining means exposure. Exposure means judgment. Judgment means pain. But what's the greater pain? Living your whole life small, or daring to become everything you were born to be? You stop walking. Close your eyes. In your mind, you see the shadow, tall, heavy, looming. It laughs, mocking every dream you've ever held. But you don't run. You don't cower. Instead, you breathe. Deeply. Slowly. You let your shoulders drop, your jaw unclench. You feel the flame in your chest, flickering brighter with every exhale. And for the first time, you don't fight the shadow, you face it. I see you, you whisper. But you don't own me. The shadow wavers. Its voice falters. Because darkness cannot survive where there is light. So you take another step forward. With each one, the flame grows, pushing back against the shadows, flooding the space with warmth. You realize now that your fear was never about being weak, it was about being strong beyond measure. About carrying power so bright it terrifies even you. And as the light spills outward, something shifts. The shadow doesn't vanish, it transforms. It becomes part of you. Not your enemy, but your fuel. Because strength isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to walk forward despite it. You open your eyes. The city glows brighter than before. And for the first time, you don't just walk, you lead. You're walking now, not just through a city, but through your life itself. And for the first time, you notice how many doors have been waiting for you to open them. Doors you never touched because fear told you they were locked. But as you approach, the handles glow. You reach out and they swing open effortlessly. Inside each doorway is a vision. One shows the version of you who never dared, who listened to the shadows. That figure is small, tired, hunched under the weight of unspoken dreams. You watch for a moment and your chest aches. That could have been your entire life, a quiet surrender. But then another door opens. Inside, you see the you who stepped into the light. Who stopped shrinking. Who built, risked, inspired. They're radiant, surrounded by people who are waiting for someone to give them permission to shine too. And you realize it was never just about you. When you rise, others rise. When you liberate yourself from fear, you unlock chains on everyone around you. Your courage whispers to them, you can too. You step back into the street and something shifts. Strangers begin to notice. Not because you're shouting or demanding attention, but because your presence is undeniable. Your being radiates possibility. The mother with tired eyes sees you and remembers her buried dreams. The young man on the corner feels the spark to finally take that postponed first step. The child tugging at their parent's hand looks at you and sees proof that magic is real. And suddenly, the world looks different. Brighter. Not because it changed, but because you did. The chains that once bound you have fallen away. The shadows that haunted you became fuel. The smallness you wore like armor is gone. Now you stand fully in the light. Not arrogant. Not boastful. Simply being as you were always meant to. And as you walk forward, something profound settles in your chest. This isn't the end. It's the beginning. Every step from here is another chance to manifest the greatness inside you. Every breath reminds you that fear no longer decides your fate, you do. So here you are, standing in your power. And the question is no longer, who am I to be brilliant, talented, fabulous? The real question is, who are you not to be? The world has been waiting for your light. Now it's time to shine.